Hello, you guys. So I wanted to hurry and get this over with tonight because I did say I was going to do it tonight. So I'm going to tell you really quickly what happened with my job and everything. I'm not going to go into too much detail because that will take forever and I will have to make a super long video, which I don't want to have to do, or break this up into a bunch of parts. So basically, I got this really good job at the 1st of January, the very beginning of January of this year, and it was great. I mean, we had moved over to the other town, and I had found another job I was at for a few months, and then I found this other one that was way better, and so I left the other job, how it just, whatever. And anyway, so I went to this job. It was great. I was a property manager or community manager over 200 and some odd homes. And it was great. I was doing really good. I was learning a lot. I have never done that in my life. It was my first time, but I had a lot of manager experience over the years. So they went ahead and hired me and, whatever. Anyone who has been a property manager or a community manager knows that there's a lot that goes into that job. And I was the newest one there. Everybody, I want to say the people who were the least amount there other than me was one of the maintenance men, had been there a year, but other than that, everybody had been there 7, 10, 20 years, And so basically, I went and I had this job. I did this job and it was great. Everything was good. I was learning. It took a little bit of time because, like I said, I've never done it before. And then they were wanting me to be kind of mean to some people, and I couldn't do that all the time. So long story short, what ended up happening is some things happened legally with a resident where the people that I worked for did not want to take the blame because they were, I guess, being blamed. And so they put it all on me. I was the scapegoat because I was the newest person, and they didn't like some of the things that I was doing, even though I was doing everything just fine. I wasn't doing anything horrible. They literally lied in their reason for firing me. They said that I was insubordinate, and those who know me personally, those who have known me for years, know that that's a big, fat lie. I have never been insubordinate to anyone. And there's a lot I could go into with this, because one of my managers, one of the people above me, was always lying about stuff. And actually almost everybody in that company, or at least the ones I was around, were always lying about stuff. They would lie to the bigger people. I would sit there and watch them and be like, okay, interesting, They would just lie. So that they wouldn't get in trouble, and they used me to get out of trouble, is what happened. And the bad thing is that when that happened, I had already moved in to a home on property. So I had, it was a really nice house, very nice house, pretty new. It was nice, but I had moved in there with my employee discount. And so I had about 400, a little over 400 off of my rent and all this stuff. So I had only been in that home for a month or 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that. I don't know. And they fired me. And the second they fired me at the beginning of August. And that's when my rent was due, and it was the day before I was supposed to get my last paycheck, and I had just come back from a 10-day, basically 2-week vacation, where I had, I didn't know any of this was going on, and I was keeping in even when I was on vacation, I was keeping track of everything. I was getting phone calls at 2 a.m. from residents, complaining about stuff. I mean, I was still taking care of things like I was supposed to be doing. But anyway, regardless, I had no clue what was going on behind closed doors. And so and I already knew what had happened with that resident, but it was not my fault. Like, none of what happened was my fault, like, at all, because these people who had been with the company for a long time were supposedly taking care of things, and I should have never just allowed that to happen, I guess. Like, it's my property. I should have just taken over. But, I mean, lesson learned, right? Anyway, and of course nobody wants to they don't want to accept their part in anything. They don't want to accept that they were wrong in any way, so they're going to use me as a scapegoat. That's exactly what happened. But anyway, what I was trying to say was, the whole rent thing happened. Okay, so I was supposed to get paid. I had just come back from vacation. I was missing $1,000, over $1,000 from my paycheck that I was supposed to pay rent with. On top of that, my rent went up like overnight, that $400 plus. So I got like way smaller than I expected check and all this stuff. And I was the only one working in the home. And so I was freaking out. I had tried to get unemployment and they had denied me. And all these things were happening, and I was like, what is going on right now, right? I was like in so much stress and chaos. And those of you who have been following me know about like my iron deficiency and like the hemorrhoid thing. This wasn't helping. The hemorrhoid thing had been happening for the last 2 months that I had been working at with this company. So my stress levels were really high, and I know that had something to do with it, because to be honest, I'm gonna tell you something crazy. The day that I got fired, the hemorrhoid thing actually fixed. Like, it went away that day. It was freaking crazy. It did come back because I had all this other stress coming, but that's what happened. I was in tears. I was depressed. I still am from time to time, but I'm trying so hard to focus on the positives. My son came to me and he was like, Mom, I don't want to move again, Sorry. Because we've moved like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times in that year. And he had finally gotten into a actual school instead of being homeschooled, right? Because he's in high school and he wants to be able to actually experience high school. So I was happy. I found him a good school, all this stuff. And all this stuff happened. And there's a lot more to it. But basically, we couldn't stay there. And they evicted us. I mean, my boss, the boss above me that was always lying about me and stuff, she literally evicted me. I got the eviction papers from the court on the 8th of the month. Okay. I got paid on the 3rd. I called and let them know that what happened. They know what happened. They're the ones who work for the company. And I literally got the court papers for eviction on the 8th of the month. And I was like, what? And it was crazy, and I was so upset. And like I said, like my son going to school, all this stuff was going on. And then my car broke down. My car ended up breaking down about, I want to say, probably a week or 2 after that. And then it stayed broke down because we couldn't afford to fix it. And then finally, some people at church actually helped us to fix the car. So thank God, and we got it fixed and everything, and we were able to actually get it running. And then I'm going to have to make this into a part 2. But yeah, all this stuff was going on, and there's more. You know what? I'm not going to do a part 2. I'm just telling you what happened. We ended up moving down here because we had nowhere to go. And we ended up coming down here, and then as soon as we got here, my car broke down. And I mean, like, big time, like needs a new transmission, needed wheel bearings, needed all kinds of stuff that we could not afford. We didn't even have the money to stay here. So we just sold the car as is so we could have more time here. And that's why we've been going around looking for jobs and stuff. But all this stuff's been happening. It's not fun. Oh, we lost everything. Again, we lost everything again.